Chef Sean Corea's journey from his childhood on a Delaware farm to the Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park, New York, eventually honing his skills at the illustrious restaurant Daniel in Manhattan, have led him back to Delaware, where he is now the executive chef at Fork and Flask in Rehoboth Beach. We are thrilled to be welcomed into his home to enjoy an incredible meal paired with some amazing beverages, courtesy of Crooked Hammock Brewery.
Welcome, guys. Welcome to my house. I'm excited to have you guys over. We're doing some late night snacks from Fork and Flask. I don't believe you two have met. Sam is my friend Orion.
Hey, nice to meet you.
From Grandpa Max down here in Rehoboth. Sam is joining us all the way from Baltimore. So we're going to start you off with some Wai Ola Ritas. So we have a Crooked Hammock beer here. It's the Wai Ola, which actually means water of life in Hawaiian. And we're going to make our rendition of a margarita with it, which I'm going to serve with a tuna poke. Super excited about you. Have a nice margarita, refreshing drink.
Hey, beautiful. Yeah, let's do it. Let's shake it up.
And this is the special ingredient, a little bit of the Wai Ola.
So tell me again, you did lime juice, you did...
A little bit of sweet lime, a little bit of triple sec, 1800 coconut, and then we top that with the the Wai Ola coconut ale.
Oh, so there's coconut in the tequila.
Yeah, we got the 1800
cool.
coconut, so it's going to be hopefully in your face coconut lime, like you're on the beach. But I guess I should taste it as well.
Cheers it up.
Cheers.
I appreciate you having us over to your house.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming.
Thank you. Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Well, that's good because I don't make a lot of cocktails.
Well, I can really taste the coconut in there too. That tequila is bomb.
And I taste the tequila, but I like the tequila. Like you can taste it, and I taste the coconut, but it's not overpowering at all.
So we've got a little bit leftovers for you guys if you guys want to enjoy that.
Don't worry, we will.
I have a shorter drive than you, so
okay, fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
All right, so now I'm going to start making the tuna poke while you guys are sipping on your margaritas. So I've got the tuna already diced up for us. And again, this is ahi tuna. And what I have is I have like a little poke sauce, which is a little bit of soy, sesame right here. And you guys can kind of smell this. Got some soy, sesame, a little bit of Thai chili paste.
Nice.
Smells awesome.
And then I'm going to add some mint and some scallions in with this just to make it pop. So you can smell that.
So
Would you say with the Thai chili is adding spice to it?
Just a little bit, like a sweet and spicy. So,
yeah.
And then the sesame seeds, the sesame oil, to add just a little bit of a, almost a smokiness sesame oil adds. So, and then we've got some scallion and some mint and the basil. The mint and the basil are going to be for the pop. And I don't need much mint and basil. Probably, it's just to bring out the freshness. I mean, we're going with fresh.
No, I like it. Go along with a nice fresh drink. Take us to the islands.
So that mint is like, I can smell it all the way
Oh
over
yeah,
here.
so that's going to add that nice fresh pop.
I love that. And did you say basil too?
Yep, a little bit of basil. I just like the really fresh herbs with the
basil.
tuna, the light.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and dress this
Oh,
up a little
yeah.
bit.
It smells awesome.
Yeah.
And even though it's got soy in it, I'm still going to toss a little bit of salt in there.
Salt.
Hey,
Salt really seasons
that too.
everything. So we're going to still bring out some of that sesame oil flavor and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I find that salt, you know, you're always trying to bring it right to that line of like, how much salt can I put in there before it's too salty?
Yeah,
you know?
so
it's just like,
I always believe that there's a ceiling for salt. Like you don't want to go over that ceiling. You want to kind of take it to that ceiling because if you go over, it's going to be way too salty. But that salt is going to help bring out the mint flavor. It's going to bring out the fattiness of the tuna. It's going to bring out that sesame oil, the basil we put in there, the scallion. It's going to make all that stuff just really alive. The acid in here, so there's just a little bit of the Thai chili has a little bit of lime in it as well. So that'll kind of make everything brighten up a little bit as well.
nice.
So I like that you do the salt that way. You know, like some people do the shaker and then you can never like,
You can't
you
see.
have no idea what you're doing and then it's like too salty.
I'm a big fan of kosher salt. So iodized salt, it's too small, so I feel like I over-season my food that way.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of tasting my food. And since this is almost ready, if you guys don't mind if I taste it, I want to make
Give her
sure.
a taste.
Yeah, do it.
All right.
As long as we're like right behind you with that.
Of course, you guys are right behind me. Can you get my approval? You got
for him.
Beautiful. Now, is this something you learned to make in culinary
behind
school?
me. This is actually something we kind of created at the restaurant. feel like healthy eating has been so popular. Hawaiian cuisine has been so popular. So poke bowls, you're seeing poke bowl restaurants pop up all over the place.
Look at that
So we have
plating.
these are from scallops that we got in Ocean City, Maryland.
Wait, seriously?
Yep, so those are scallop shells right here.
Oh my
You can
God.
see one if you want to check it out.
Really?
That was once had a real scallop in it.
How did you find these?
We had to buy scallops from a local purveyor. I haven't actually.
You're walking on the beach and this.
Serious.
He was digging his toes in the sand. Next thing you
And this
know,
popped up?
That's one of my goals for this summer is to do a little bit more fishing and stuff like that. Like really enjoy living at the beach. I mean that's
kind of
where you
forage
get a
off
lot
the
of your inspiration for food. Where we have so much fresh stuff around us. So more fishing and come up with different dishes with fresh catch that's local and sustainable, obviously. All right, you guys ready for the tuna poke?
Yeah, bring it
totally
on.
ready.
So we're just gonna finish
Love
this off
tuna.
with a little bit of guacamole that I have prepared for you guys over here.
Nice.
And then I'm going to put a little bit of pickled ginger on there as like a little palate cleanser. So the lavash is also seasoned with just a little bit of citrus zest, sugar, and salt, and a little bit of coriander just to kind of give that another background flavor for these.
It looks beautiful.
It looks awesome. And that's a lot, which is awesome.
Poke for days.
Yeah.
Yeah. The avocado on top is like California style.
Right,
Yeah, that
it's
looks
like eye
delicious.
candy now,
So,
like, all
is
I
this
want
how
to
you
eat.
serve in the restaurant? In the shells, or
We do. We serve it right in the
cool.
restaurant, in the
Oh.
shells. We'll,
Oh, yeah.
sometimes we get this micro wasabi, which I don't have any right now. We get this micro wasabi from Totem Farms, and it's arugula that's like spiked with wasabi.
Yeah, give it a little
But they're all
burn.
in the same family, so it gives that really nice taste. But
Oh,
there's
I
a little
love
bit of wasabi in the guacamole.
Oh, wow.
Looks great.
Looks great.
Right.
Call that mouth watering.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like ready to go.
All right. So now this is the guac on top. You don't need a lot of this, just a little bit.
Yeah.
The thing I never understand is when people are afraid of raw fish. Honestly, to me, it doesn't ever taste fishy, so I don't know why you would be scared of it. You know, it to me it's delicious, and to have a fish that tastes less fishy is what I like.
Right, it's less fishy than when you cook it.
Yeah.
I had raw scallop the other day, and it was amazing. It was,
I love doing
it
ceviches
was
and
awesome.
stuff like that.
That looks awesome.
Well, I hope it tastes as good as it looks.
Oh yeah.
And here we are. We have our tuna poke
Beautiful.
with our Wai Ola Ritas made with Crooked Hammocks.
Thank you,
Wai Ola
sir.
beer.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right.
So what's like the best?
Piece of cracker,
cracker.
fork it on the cracker.
All right.
All right, we're doing it. It looks awesome. I don't even want to mess it up.
Thank
It looks
you.
so pretty.
A little ginger. Oh yeah.
I need like a bite with everything on it. Awesome. It's like the perfect mix. I can taste like the brightness in all those fresh herbs. They come right out.
It's
That's awesome.
delicious. Definitely a lot of layers. You know, you definitely get the fattiness from the avocado. Dude, the tuna tastes so good. And then I love the
Awesome.
sesame seeds. Lots of depth.
There's a little bit of that in the sauce to add some texture as well. You get
Yeah.
the crunch from the cracker, which I believe is also a thing you were saying raw fish.
Oh,
People are so funny about it. And I feel like you have to have that crunch like the raw fish. It's the actual texture that they don't like, or the fishiness, that too. But yeah, all that fattiness just really makes me want a Wai Ola Ritas.
Yeah.
yeah, like I had to take a sip right away. Like it
Yeah.
was perfect with it.
Do you use the citrus? Was it lemon or
A little bit of orange. A little
orange?
bit of
Orange, awesome. Yeah. I was in the Bahamas and they did a conch ceviche and they use oranges and I was like, oh man, I've always done lime and lemon, but orange, oh man, kick
What
it
a
up.
good idea.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the guacamole too. Like it's like just a nice compliment.
The creamy, crunchy.
The creamy,
yeah.
crunchy.
I usually like the ginger in there a lot too.
It's usually like a palate cleanser too. So I feel like all these ingredients work really well. Like we have coconut, we have pickled ginger. Like they're almost all Asian ingredients or Hawaiian ingredients
Yeah.
that you can use.
And there's
Really
a good,
refreshing.
take a good kick. Like
Yeah?
I still get a little bit. Yeah.
That's
you
from
feel
the
it
Thai
too?
chili we were talking about.
Right.
Definitely a lot going on in there, and like you said, it can be a simple dish with a lot of flavor. So I think it's great.
So I want to start on. I'm going to keep working on my margarita, but I want to start on the Nashville Chicken while you guys are enjoying this. So
It's yeah.
Feel free.
We're eating over here.
Yeah,
Awesome.
It was
Love to
interesting
hear.
going
Right.
from a sip of the margarita and a bite to a sip of the beer and a bite. It actually changed the profile of it just a little bit. Both delicious, but
for the next course, I'm actually going to pair this with the Nashville Chicken. So the same beer. So we make a lot of cocktails with it. So we're going from light, and then we got the heavy chicken where we just want like a cold beer with the fried chicken. Yeah. Fried chicken and beer, tuna poke and margaritas. So we're going to go from one end of Delaware to the other. We're going to go from the beach club back up to Crooked Hammock, back to Fork and Flask.
That's great. So I've never taken a trip from Hawaii to Nashville so quickly.
Yeah,
so
right?
That's a beautiful thing.
need to hang out with you guys more. We're like traveling everywhere.
Yeah.
I haven't even left my seat.
All right, so I'm getting the Nashville started, the Nashville Chicken. We're going to do some bao buns. This is one of my favorite late night snacks. We used to do a pork belly bao bun. Do you know what a bao bun is?
It's like the big fluffy.
So it's
Did I get it right?
These guys right here, yeah.
No, tell me what they are.
It's I say it's Wonder Bread without the crust, but that's my description of it. So if you feel them, you steam them. Mm-hmm. And essentially there's natural sugars in it too, so it'll just leave a great texture. We're going to have the crispy chicken. We're going to have some coleslaw, some pickles, and this is the chicken that we're going to bread up and we're going to deep fry over here.
Oh, wow.
Nice. We're actually going to serve this with the Wai Ola. So we're going to steam those up. I got a steamer set up back here.
Beautiful.
And it really is just like Wonder Bread without the crust.
Yeah.
And that would normally be served like dim sum or like...
Yep, dim sum. They do a lot of bao buns. Usually it's like pork belly, kimchi, cucumbers, hoisin.
Oh, yeah.
So we kind of took this and made it our own. So we're going to fry the chicken, start steaming the buns. And then once the chicken comes out of here, we got some angry butter. The chicken is dredged, so the cool thing about this, the spices that I put in the chicken flour are also the spices that are in this angry butter mixed with a little bit of brown sugar. And the spices are also in the brine for the chicken. So I pulled the chicken out of a buttermilk brine. You can kind of see this is the brine chicken that I had it in. So all the same spices. So it gets brined in the spices, then dredged in the spices, and after it's cooked, tossed in the spices one more time.
Amazing.
Nice.
Last time I was at your house, I went crazy for the angry butter.
That's why we brought it back.
I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, so we're gonna make the angry butter. I'm gonna go ahead and start this chicken.
So tell me, Sean, when did you truly find your love for food and say, hey, I'm gonna go to culinary school and this is what I'm gonna do?
So that's a funny story. It was a complete accident. I had wanted to be a farmer. So I grew up working on CA Farms in Camden, Delaware. My mom actually had to beg for the job for me because I weighed just about as much as a straw bale. I weighed 67 pounds, a straw bale weighed 40. Oh my God. So I had to like pick them up, I guess. So I worked on a farm until I was about 18 years old. All my friends started moving to the beach, and I was already, I just graduated. I was in school at Del State for ag business, and moved to the beach, and I needed a job. I thought they were going to give me a job serving, but I had no experience in a tourist town. So they said, well, you don't have experience. We can't just let you in. I was like, well, how am I supposed to get experience if nobody gives it to me? Oh, yeah. So I realized they wouldn't give me a job. And this was actually at Dogfish Head. But they wouldn't give me a job because I didn't have experience. So they were like, can you cook? I couldn't cook at the time whatsoever. But they didn't give me a job because I didn't have experience. I said, of course I can cook. I didn't know they were going to bring me back to the kitchen. They bring me back to the kitchen and open up the grill station. There's rockfish, fillets, salmon, chicken. There's a wood fire grill behind me, saute pans. And that's when I realized, shit, I'm caught. They asked me to make them lunch. So, but in the bottom corner, there was hot dogs. So there's hot dogs in the bottom of the fridge. So I took one out and I put it in the microwave for 1 minute. I showed them my special wrapping in a paper towel technique. I haven't patented it yet. So, but I got the job. The very next week, I started as a dishwasher. So
That's great.
So the chicken is done. It's
Beautiful.
going to be tossed in the angry butter right here.
Favorite angry butter.
It's not even that mad, is it? Is it?
Oh, it's mad.
It is.
We're
It's
not
got
mad
that
at it.
spice.
I'm not mad at it.
And then
Not at all.
we're gonna go ahead and pull the steam buns out. I'm gonna go ahead and get this plate ready. These steam buns are gonna be very hot, so I'm gonna go ahead and glove up real quick. All right, so we'll build these guys up, and we're gonna put, again, you remember that Nashville Chicken and waffles is, like I said, one of the best-selling dishes at Fork and Flask.
Yeah.
So we have chicken 3 ways on our menu. This one's the bao bun. We do the fried chicken and waffles. We also do a Nashville fried chicken sandwich. It's a handheld one.
Cool.
This is absolutely my favorite way to eat it. So if you like the waffles, you're really going to like this. So we're going to start off. We have the pickles here, a little bit of coleslaw. The chicken's been tossed in the angry butter.
The best coleslaw.
Now, would you say this is something you know, kind of taken from a dish you've seen before, or this was all just, you just came up with this, or how?
In all honesty, I truly believe, like, I'm glad you asked that, because there's so many chefs, I don't want to share my recipe, or this is my idea. I really don't feel like there's a lot of original ideas anymore. I mean, everything, you're just deconstructing something and reconstructing something. So
that's cool. That's cool.
I took someone else's idea, made it my own, because I do think that's important. You should always put your kind of signature, your mark on something.
Cool. Yeah, I like that.
So when you get this as an appetizer, do a couple of them come in there?
So we do a happy hour with 3 to a plate. So it'll get 3 per person, and then we do another one where it lines up this whole plate.
Nice.
Oh, wow. Oh, happy hour sounds good.
So this is more like the one I'm about to do is a sharing plate, which is usually for 2 or 3 people, because at the restaurant, that's another thing. You know, I miss eating around a dinner table, kind of like we're doing right now, where, you know, you're lost in conversation and all that stuff, because so many people, I know it's part of your job, but they're sitting there with their cell phones out and, you know, no, it's good to take pictures,
No, it's
but as
fun,
long as
like right now.
people are engaging, right? So that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So if we're sharing everything, then you guys are passing a plate around, you're talking about the food, talking about the beer, which I have some cold Wai Olas for you.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
So we just did the Wai
Wow.
Ola Rita, and now we're going to do the Nashville
It's
with
going
the
to be
Wai Ola beer.
perfect. My parents, well, our family, we're like they call us the flying fork family. Because, like, you know, our forks are flying because we want to taste everyone's
Nice.
food. But, like, I like to sit down and be like, all right, I'm going to get this. Can we share? What do you want to do, like a share?
I like that.
Yeah.
I grew up with 2 brothers, so it was, you know, as soon as that food hit the table, it was whoever can eat it the fastest gets the most. So we're all very quick eaters.
Quick eaters?
Yeah.
That's how that works.
I've recently found out I'm the slowest of all the eaters, but my brothers are both chefs, so they have an affinity for food.
All right, and you've got Grandpa Mac.
Grandpa Mac, yeah.
That's awesome. I'm coming back because I'm coming back for this mac and cheese.
Well, it was funny you just mentioned the flying fork. So you got to come back. We got a lot of things. We got to, number one, get you a fork from Gidgets and Gadgets because it'll help you out at family dinners. It's one of those forks and it extends
The
like
long
an antenna.
fork. We have to
Yeah, it
get
extends.
this.
So
I
we'll
need
get
to
you one of
bring this
those.
home.
So when you
I
go to
need
family
it.
dinners.
Yeah, and so I can, like, you know, grab the lobster off your plate up there. You know?
Yeah, all the good stuff.
The best thing from that plate over there that they're like protecting.
All right. So
All right.
we have our Nashville Chicken Bao Buns. Remember, the texture of this bun, you should get a little bit of crispy from the coleslaw. You get the pickle and the spice from the chicken, and this eats like white bread.
Can't take the one
You
on
said
the
this
end.
is finger food, right? I'm not just being a slob by
I'm
just
doing
going
it.
right in.
Oh, it's hot.
It is hot. It's a Nashville hot chicken.
That angry butter.
That angry butter. I feel like we're being filmed. And we need to feed the camera guy. You guys mind if I get one of the camera guy over here?
You guys got
That's delicious. So the spice, like you're saying, that angry butter,
Yep.
it's screaming at me, but the pickles are cooling me down. The coleslaw is cooling me down. You know, it's not overly hot. It's not burning you out. It's not really a heavy lingering spice so that I'm not sitting here sweating from my forehead, but at the same time, it's just delicious. Lots of flavor. And then, like you said, you're getting the soft, you're getting the crunch.
Did you
Yeah.
get the crunch?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The coleslaw.
The chicken is like really crispy and hot, but then you get this like kick of the coleslaw right underneath it. Awesome.
Yeah.
And I really like the pickle on top. And you're right, this is like white bread, but with a slight crunch. Oh, great.
I can tell you just made the coleslaw. It does have a good crunch to it. Yeah.
All right, guys. So the next dish is, this one's really important to me. This is the first dish I've ever had on a menu. So this is actually called spaghetti alla chitarra, or if you pronounce it right, spaghetti alla chitarra. The reason that gets its name is because of this cool contraption that we're going to roll it off right here.
What is that?
So this is the guitar. It's actually wired with guitar strings. It'll make it kind of flat on one side and sort of rounded.
Can I touch it?
Yeah, please.
Play us a song.
Let's say, Orion, you're the musician. Yeah, do you want to sing too?
No. I do not want to think. Do you want to sing?
So you see this side's the spaghetti, this is the sides we're going to use, and this side you have like a linguine or a fatter pasta here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, I've actually
So
got
it's
to
like
use one of
two
these before.
double-sided?
They're great.
Oh, right.
We're going to
Yeah.
use a little bit thinner of an
Pasta
egg noodle. But the reason this dish, and I want to tell you a story about this dish before I get started. So when I left Delaware and went to CIA in New York, I was sort of searching for a job while I was still in culinary school, but I moved out of Delaware, finally like escaped where I grew up, and I was like, I'm in the big city, like I'm going to do something. So I was searching very seriously for what restaurant I wanted to work in after graduation. Lucky enough, I got a chance with Orion's brother, Josh Cameron. He got me into 11 Madison in New York City to stage there. I got to stage there for a week where I got to work. Actually, they got their second Michelin star that week and all kinds of cool stuff. So experienced a lot there. Ariel, Del Posto, Per se, I stage is where you work for free in a bunch of different restaurants. I fell in love with restaurant Danielle Balloud. I'd worked with their catering company, Feast and Fet, which means to feast and to feast. So I fell in love with their catering company, and I really enjoyed working in their kitchen because they did everything from scratch. And for a Michelin star restaurant, which actually at the time it was the 11th best restaurant in the world.
That's cool.
Oh my God.
And I'm this little guy from Delaware, so everybody in my culinary school, they're like, where are you working? I was like, I don't know, I'm working at one of the top 50 restaurants in the world after I graduate. Where are you working? And they would all think I was full of shit. But I wrote letters every day and got staged in all these cool restaurants. But Danielle I really fell in love with because it was just classic French cooking. There was no egos about it. It was just down to brass tacks. I worked for Feast and Fet. When I got hired for them, I got hired as the pasta guy. I didn't have a name, the pasta guy.
Or do they still call you that?
They
Like
do.
When you talk to your friends, like the pasta guy?
On the name tag, it's like
The
the
pasta
pasta.
guy.
It was, well, so the funny thing was they had it, so there was a camera that looked down in the kitchen, because I was downstairs in the basement rolling pasta.
What?
So there's a
Like
camera.
during service or like?
Yep, so I just made the pasta. I didn't even get to cook it or eat it.
God.
I just made it. So yeah, they had a camera and there was an intercom. So Chef Francois Bruel, he'd be upstairs. They'd be in the middle of service, and he could always, like, if you ever needed me to bring up more ravioli or something, hey, pasta guy, need more pasta on the fly, vas-y. So that's how that worked. But it was funny. So he called me two things. When I first started, he read my resume. He didn't look that I had cooked at James Beard House, or I was a commis for the certified master chef. He didn't care about any of that. He was like, you grew up on a farm? I said, yes. He goes, you know what it means, right? I said, no, chef. He goes, well, I grew up on a farm. Chef Danielle grew up on a farm. He goes, it means if something breaks around here, you're going to fix it, huh? I didn't think he was serious. I thought he was joking. He was dead serious. Because the first day I worked, this thing broke.
You're fixing it.
Yep. So, but anyway, I was the pasta guy down in the basement, and I would make spaghetti. Every Saturday night, I'd be cleaning up my station. I'd have my pasta machine out, and I'd be cleaning it up, and I'd be putting it in my little box, get ready to go home. It's 10 o'clock on a Saturday. I'm like, yeah, I'm out of here. And I'd hear on the machine, pasta guy, I need $2 spaghetti on the fly, vas-y, there's a kid. So I'd have to break everything back out, and I'd make 2 boxes of spaghetti. And this happened for like at least a month, 2 months. I don't even know how long it was. It felt like it was every Saturday night when I was ready to go early. So one Saturday night, he calls me up there. He says, hey, pasta guy, can you come upstairs? And my response is, do you need 2 boxes of spaghetti, chef? He's like, no, I just want to talk to you. So I go upstairs and I talk to Chef Francois. I was like, what's up, chef? He goes, well, so I've been lying to you for the past few months. What do you mean you've been lying to me? He goes, you know when I yelled to you on Saturday night, I need 2 boxes of spaghetti. There's a kid in the restaurant on the fly, vas-y. He goes, I can see you on the cameras. And I remember as soon as you start cleaning up your station, shit, I promised my kids fresh pasta tomorrow. So he had 2 little ones that love fresh pasta. That was the only day the restaurant was closed. So I was making them because he could see me cleaning up on the cameras.
He's like, don't clean up.
Yeah, ruining my Saturday night. He's like, shit, before he goes, more pasta.
Oh my
That's
God.
great.
That's
So
amazing.
he made me a deal where I could take 3 ingredients and 2 bucks of pasta home myself. Now, I made $9.50 an hour. My rent was $1,500, but it was an honor to be there. Like, that was something that went on my resume, so it was worth it. So was the food that I got to take home, so I could so we kind of made my roommate, who was the family guy. You can guess what his job was. He was to make family meal for everybody. So that's who our names were: family guy, fish guy, pasta guy. But yeah, so kind of developed this in my apartment in New York. If you go on my Facebook, one of my Facebook profile pictures is me eating my first few bites of this.
Oh my God.
When we nailed it.
So you took home this pasta? And
I would take
and
it.
that's how you
So
started
that's how
developing
this recipe
fish?
was created. We
Oh
started
my
playing
God.
with it for a while. Then we ate it every single night for about 2 to 3 months after that, maybe even a year after that. Then I moved back to Delaware. When I moved back to Delaware, I made it a spuma. It was the first thing. The chef I had originally started with it a spuma. I fed him the pasta twice in one day, and he said, all right, we're putting it on the menu. So first time I ever had a dish put on the menu. Also, the first time I ever had a real compliment from that chef. So I got a compliment about my spaghetti, put it on the menu. It's kind of stuck with a sense. Around here, I've been known as the pasta guy. I have a couple shirts that say pasta guy. The Monty from the Starboard, he calls me the pasta guy.
Oh, yeah.
So it's gotten a big following around here. So when I came back, I brought this to Fork and Flask. It's one of my favorite dishes. My cooks in the restaurant at Fork and Flask, they actually fight each other over like who makes it better, who makes it the best, which is cool to me because I take so much pride in this. So it's cool that they do as well.
I love your story.
Yeah,
That's
it's cool.
awesome.
It's really cool to have a connection to a dish like that.
my
You know?
God.
So that's great.
Well, I can't wait to feed it to you guys. I
I'm
am going to have to
so
roll the
honored.
pasta out. So we got the pasta dough I made from scratch. This is a French pasta dough. So it's French. It's just a little bit more egg yolks than egg whites. I say French because, you know, Italy borders France. There's certain parts in Italy that use whole eggs. Closer towards France, they use a richer pasta dough, mostly because of the different sauces that you're going to find on the border of France and stuff. So this is a little bit thicker.
What type of flour do you use?
00. So it's 00 flour, just a little bit thinner flour. We're not going to eat all this because I don't know if you guys can eat that much pasta. But
oh, are you kidding?
I
You
can.
Hey,
can eat. Like,
there you
like,
go.
Yeah.
Hey, pasta guy.
He's
Two
the
boxes,
other
two
pasta
boxes.
guy.
Two boxes
Two
on the fly.
boxes.
Vas-y,
Yeah.
vas-y. The
Yeah,
other thing.
I'll take home like the 2 boxes.
You're lucky I didn't say the other French words he called me when he was looking
my
for the pasta.
I can't believe. So, how much pasta you really think you made in like
I
the
mean,
couple months you were there? Just
so
like
it
boatloads of spaghetti.
So much. So let's just talk about this. We had 2 raviolis on a dish. It was a artichoke ravioli, and one was in just regular pasta dough like this, and the other was in squid ink. Now, a day we would go through 600 of each of those raviolis. So if I didn't want to be in the weeds the next day, then I would have to make sure I had 600 to start the next day.
Oh, so you're doing them at night too?
So I would make at least, I would say 1,200 was the least amount of raviolis I would make a day. And then plus I had to make agnolottis, then a spaghetti. Plus I was in charge of making the sauces too. So I'd say all in all about 1,200, I'd say 1,600 raviolis a day, 6 boxes of spaghetti, and about 400 agnolottis a day.
Wow.
What an awesome start though.
It was, I got really good at rolling pasta.
Just awesome start. And you're still talking about it? Like,
Yeah.
oh gosh.
Yeah. So we cheat over at Grip and Mac. I've got an extruder, and we do 200 pounds of pasta a day, but we do not hand roll it like you. So you are definitely a man among men.
Well, that's not cheating. So the extruder, I mean, I know they have dyes and stuff that do this now, but I mean, in Italy, like all your box pastas, those are extruded pastas. It's just as good to extrude pasta. It doesn't make any difference. Just some pastas are meant to be hand rolled.
Oh, for sure.
Some aren't. And I've had some of their pasta. You remember we did the Taco Mania, and you guys did the pasta made out of masa flour.
Yeah.
And it was like taco pasta. It
That's
was
amazing.
Yeah,
freaking
we'll
awesome.
try to mix it up, but
Yeah.
like I said, I've hand rolled pasta and I use the extruder, and I'll stick with the
Choose the
extruder for now.
extruder?
Yeah, doing 200 pounds of pasta a day in the summer, more than that, nope, I'm not hand rolling that, buddy.
All right, so it's getting a little loud in here. We're gonna start
Do it. I watch this all the time on the Food Network, and I'm always like,
See, I remember Grandma hand cranking it, and
Cranking it.
oh yeah, your arm gets tired.
yeah, you roll it through. Wow.
We can speed it up. I've gotten pretty fast with this. I don't think the machine can go as fast as me. One important part is you want to make sure at the beginning just to make sure you flour it just enough
Okay.
so it doesn't stick to the machine. And we're going to lower it
Dim
and make
it
it a little
off.
bit thinner each time.
Uh-huh.
Because if you make it thin right away, it's going to rip and you're going to get a bunch of holes in it.
So like before that machine, what are people doing?
Exactly what Orion said, the
They're
hand
just-
crank.
Hand
Or a
crank.
rolling pin. If you didn't have a rolling pin, it was an empty wine bottle.
Yeah.
So you're hand cranking to
Yeah.
get it thin, and you're just doing it over and over and over again.
Yeah, so there's pasta
Oh,
machines
wow.
that essentially do the same thing that motor's doing, but you're hand powered.
Yeah, I
It's
guess.
the same thing that he's showing you though, how you make it thinner and thinner and thinner, and he's just showing you proper technique.
I got to do this at some point.
You know, it's funny,
Look at all that.
We
I
have-
make so much.
yeah, we'll do like cooking classes with kids in the back at Grip and Mac, and they have to sit there and hand crank it, and I laugh because I'm like, this is what my grandma used to make me do,
Oh,
and now
really?
it's like you passing the torch, but you're
You're
like,
like-
I don't want to say torture, but it's just funny that you're like, I used to be that guy.
And it's like
doing
a
that.
tiny bit of
Yeah,
stuff, and really
yeah.
you have like this huge thing of
I
pasta
can
for
imagine.
them.
I can imagine that's fun for a kid as you get older. Like I've
Oh,
got more important things
they
to
love
do
it.
right now. You know, we
Yeah.
just get so distracted in our
Look at all that.
everyday activities.
They love it, and it's one of those things where it's hands-on. You get to get dirty, and you get to feel like you're a part of it, and then they get to eat the food that they made afterwards, and that's very like fulfilling, you know. When when you make that dish that you're so proud of,
Like that
even
one-
if you're only making it for yourself, it's still
Yeah.
like you put the time and the love into it.
All
There's a
right,
little
so this
middle
is
here.
about
Oh my god.
all the
it's
thickness
awesome.
we need.
Oh yeah, it looks beautiful.
Look at that. It's like perfect.
Now tell me a little bit about the coloration. What's going
Yeah.
on?
So it's starting to oxidize a little bit because
Oh,
the
yeah,
egg
yeah.
whites, whenever there's a little bit of water in the
Yeah,
dough,
yeah, yeah.
it oxidizes. So especially when you have a lot of egg yolks.
Yeah, yeah.
Some people, you'll see a lot of people that use a little bit of food coloring, but it's natural. Like I
Cool.
said, it's an all-natural discoloration. It's like you've seen avocado. When you smash an avocado for guacamole, it starts to turn a little bit. It's the same thing happen. It's the water hitting, you know, the little bit of whites when you separate them.
Yeah, no, it looks beautiful.
So.
And you used to do this like all night for hours.
It's funny. So
every day.
I did. It's funny. So you asked that question at Danielle. We had used this food dye, but it was called yolk dye. And that was the color of the actual food dye you put in it, so you wouldn't see the I can't even say that word. Oxidization.
Yeah.
Oxidation, that's it.
All right.
So we're going to go ahead and cut this into a couple strips, and then we're going to put it on the spaghetti a la chitarra. So, all right, now we're going to go ahead and roll it out. This is my favorite part because we get to cut it.
I really have no idea what's about to happen.
Yeah,
like, I know that like pasta's going to... So I don't know what's going to happen.
It's going to turn into spaghetti.
Like in a minute. That's so cool.
They don't make these things as level as they used to. So you can kind of see the strings show through once you do that.
Oh, and then you can just like hand do the rest? Oh,
That's
wow.
Or you can strum it like the guitar. I find it easier just so they don't get tangled up. So you can buy these things on Amazon for like $40.
Oh yeah, they're great.
All right, so Sam, I know you said you haven't rolled fresh pasta, but you really want to. So do you want to get up here? I'll start cutting the garlic.
Just go like this?
Yep, you're going to push down, maybe hold it there because it's a little bit unbalanced.
This is hard.
Go ahead and just take your hands and just roll it back and forth.
There you go.
Yeah, okay.
Put some pressure on it.
And then you're going to look for the metal strings to be showing through.
It's like a workout.
You got it. It is.
I can't imagine doing this every single night. And how many times a night did you do this? Or did you do all that ahead of time?
Well, so 2 boxes of pasta is 12 knots. So for 2 boxes, that was just at the end of the night. So I'd already made 6 boxes before that. Just a lot. So you can kind of see the strings. Now if you want, can I show you?
Yeah.
You just take it like this.
Okay.
And just kind of run it along here. They'll start to fall through. Once you feel like you've got it all the way pressed, you can strum it with your fingers.
Okay, so go like this?
Yep.
This is so fun.
Yeah.
I'm making this meal for us.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, he's taking you to Hawaii. He's taking you to
Nashville.
Now you're in Italy.
We're everywhere today. Okay, so then what do? I can strum it with the fingers?
Yep, just like that. I'll take this from you.
Oh my God. It really makes a sound.
Now, you don't know any Sinatra songs that you could sing to us while you're strumming the spaghetti?
When the moon hits your eyes.
Like a big okay, no, I'm not doing this.
Good job.
Yay.
Right.
You made pasta.
Thank you.
So you just made that. We're going to go ahead and slice some garlic up over here. And I'm going to chop the rosemary and thyme with the rosemary and thyme. So we just want it really thin slices so it melts in the sauce.
So most likely you did the confit with oil, right? You roasted it down.
No, this is just, I mean, there is a very little bit of oil in there. So it's just a little bit of tomatoes, garlic, a little bit of salt, and rosemary and thyme on there. And then it's cooked at 225 degrees in an oven for a really long time. So it kind of just, I guess, reduces all the juices in it and intensifies it. And we're going to use that to make a nice sauce. The most important part about this dish is actually toasting the garlic. So we're going to get this great aroma off this dish. You don't want to burn the garlic because that's going to make it bitter. But we're going to lightly toast the garlic. Sam, are you looking at your spaghetti over there?
Did you do a good job? No, it just already smells good. Like it just smells good, and we're like not even.
This is the use of fresh ingredients.
Yeah, it just already smells good. I'm like, what's in there already? But nothing. It's just the garlic.
What you got there? A little fresh thyme?
That would have taken me like 20 minutes to cut up all that garlic. I'm learning stuff.
Are you a slap chopper? Is that what you use?
The garlic press?
Yeah, always. I like hit it with my hand and then I chop it up. But I'm learning. I'm like going to go home and I'm going to do that.
Nice.
So
I'm going to buy one of those pastas.
Anytime you can use fresh herbs in making a dish like this, it's very, very important. I mean,
so what is that?
This is a little bit of fresh thyme, which I love using thyme. I mean, you can just kind of smell it. Oh, that's going to be great with the hops from this beer. And then we have some rosemary, which I think rosemary adds just a little bit of earthiness to it. Again, with an IPA, I think that'll be great. So We're just going to chop this up. We don't want big chunks of herbs in our spaghetti.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to start with a little bit of cold butter in the pan.
Just a little bit.
That's a little bit, maybe a little bit more.
No, I know. I'm just wanting.
You know how I like my butter.
I know.
While you're
You're
making the
a butter
pasta,
man.
I need you to say forget about it and do hand
Forget
gestures a little
about
more.
it.
There you go. I
How
need a
long
little
do you
more of
forget
this.
about it?
Hey.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and add this garlic to the pan.
Smells so good in here. It's definitely those herbs. Like I can smell it all the way over here. So
When
it
this
makes such a
garlic toast
difference.
and we add those herbs,
Oh
it's
my
going to
God.
be, yeah, I mean, it's getting close.
Oh my God, it smells so good.
And
I'm
that, is
sitting
that
in like
where
an
like
Italian-
some of the perfecting of this dish came in to, you know, getting it just right?
I mean, this is like the part in line where I was saying my cooks like kind of brag, they argue over who makes it best. I mean, because you can't make this in multiple batches. So every time they make this dish, they've got to go through this process that I'm going through right now. So we have a lot of plastic spoons online because you also have to make sure you have to taste it. It's the only way, and this sauce will change a lot.
You ever do a taste off?
So are you gonna,
Well,
it
I'm the
best?
one that judges all this.
Well,
so
yeah,
you
sure,
can
you
see
gotta
that
do-
brown
Oh,
right
wow.
are you gonna make someone
Can you
mad telling us
smell that?
who makes it the best?
Oh
you know
my
what I
God,
mean?
it
Is that gonna
smells
piss
so
someone off?
good.
Who makes it the best?
Yeah,
I'm
who
not. I'm
makes it the
actually.
best? Are we not allowed to say?
So Dylan, my sous chef, makes it the best. That's why he's my sous chef.
Nice.
So when we add this is the aromatics, and again, it's gonna take
Oh,
the
yeah.
smell-o-vision up.
Oh God.
You smell it changes
Totally.
right
I
there.
do, I
Amazing.
do.
I feel like I
Right.
should
And
deglaze
that's
with
the best
beer.
part of that open kitchen. You're getting like all that smell as you're
All
sitting,
those-
and you're just like, I cannot wait to eat.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right.
Smells great.
So again, this is a very quick pan sauce. It needs to reduce a little bit, but not much. I'm probably getting ready to go ahead and add the spaghetti in the water, but as you know, you got to taste.
So how long does spaghetti like this take? Like not long, right?
Not long at all. It takes about a minute total. In the water. And that's all we're going to do. The sauce is just about there, so we're going to go ahead and add the pasta. One thing about this is I'm going to make sure it's not sticking together in there. So once we get it in there, we'll take our little tongs here, and we'll just kind of make sure it's submerged. You always want to make sure your water is boiling with fresh pasta too. Dried pasta as well, but it's really important for fresh pasta because it'll stick.
Beautiful. Are you finishing it in the pan or you're?
So yeah, that's going to
Yeah.
dump in the pan. The sauce is kind of going to coat it.
Oh, beautiful.
And then we will be ready to, what do they say in Italian? Mangia, mangia, mangia.
Hey, pasta guy, pasta guy, pasta guy.
Pasta guy.
Two boxes.
So my dad had given me a boat. It was a John boat. Now we had a lot of fun on this boat. We always went crabbing and stuff on it. We had it painted. I think it said it's a deer on the side, and on the other side it said senior
It
week.
was like camouflage.
But
Yeah.
none of us were
Senior week.
seniors.
They
in
were
high
all
school.
21 and there was senior week on it. It was just a funny thing to do.
So like, me and Orion have been friends for a long time. Actually, I met both of Orion's brothers after Orion. So I get a call one day. I think it was from Hori though, saying, "Hey man, we want to take your boat and go chicken necking. Have you ever been chicken necking?"
No.
What?
I'm
A
not
Maryland
from,
girl?
I'm not from
That's how you
Delaware.
catch Delaware
That's how you
boys.
catch
You would
crab.
explain to her.
That's how you catch crab.
What?
You use the chicken necks as bait.
Oh yeah, I knew that.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
all right.
But I don't know. I'm like a bad Marylander. I'm gonna get so much shit for this. I do know that, but no, we like buy the crabs and. All right, tell me the story.
So, well, most chicken necking usually just take a piece of string and tie the chicken to
Yeah.
it. So anyway, I told him, you know, me and my dad kind of fixed this boat together, patched all the holes in it and all that stuff. And Orion and Hori asked me if they could take it out. I trusted them.
I can't believe that you're still allowed in his house.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to break
The
these
senior week
friendships up.
boat.
That's how you know we're good friends.
Yeah.
So I told him, I said, the only thing you guys got to do is make sure you pull the plug when you guys are on your way in to drain some of the water that would come in. Take the motor off, put it in the shut. They did all that except for forgot to put the plug back in.
Well, you know, you say pull the plug. You didn't express.
I wasn't thorough enough. See, this is
Oh,
what
yeah,
argument we get into every
A
time.
hole that continues.
I didn't
Oh my
realize, you know,
God.
I'm thinking it's draining, not sinking, you know. But
They got off. I came back 2 days later. It was sunk.
but he saved it. It was
You saved it?
resurrected.
My dad still won't let me drive his new boat. He's like, I gave you a boat. What
Oh,
happened to
because of you.
Yeah, I blame it on the other guy. So you know.
All right, so
Oh
we
my God, I'm
have
so
some
excited.
Mootzy's treasure for you.
I found the treasure.
You found the treasure
This
right
is
there.
the
in
treasure
pasta.
right here.
Pasta guy, pasta guy, pasta guy. Thank you,
Whoa.
pasta guy.
So the things that me
This
and
is
Mootzy's have
awesome.
gathered with our years of travels are now paired together. The stuff I've collected, mine recipes
so awesome.
and ingredients. There is just a little bit of chili flake in there. Like I said, we toasted the garlic.
Sorry. That's so good. You know, like I said, I eat pasta every day of the week, but this, we'll keep on eating, baby.
Mwah.
Yeah.
I'm a big pasta
Delicious.
fan. This is like game changing.
It came out great. You know what? You didn't overcook it. You know, like you said, giving it that quick cook. Still has a little tooth to it, a little bite.
So that's why I like using the egg yolk dough too. It holds up, so it almost kind of comparable to a ramen noodle.
Yeah.
Delicious.
I like the texture, and it's like not stiff and still. Oh, it's awesome.
I love how thin you made it too. It's like nice and thin.
I helped with that.
You did.
Oh,
She did.
yeah.
Maybe like 3 or 4 strands in there.
Oh,
came
yeah.
from me.
We're gonna have to watch for Instagram.
I'm sorry. I keep,
Look at this, man. Look at
I'm
this
sorry. I
spaghetti
keep trying to
that I
give
made.
Sean the credit over here.
No, Sean, you're awesome.
know.
This is so good. And I like these tomatoes. Like they add, adds a nice bite.
It's not too much. It's not a cream sauce, so I mean, you can eat this during the summer. You can eat it anytime
Yeah.
of year. It's not full of meat or anything like that.
I gotta try the Mootzy with it.
It's delicious because I mean it is a nice light. You know, the sauce isn't so thick and heavy. Sometimes it really just drags the whole dish down. Where I love it, but haven't tried it with this yet. So
It's good.
yeah, that's great. Great
Now-
hops. Very different than the Wai Ola, where this was I feel a little lighter California style ale. The hops in this is really great, and then once again, not quite like you said, not as sessionable as the other drink, but give me a couple of those and I'm a happy camper.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I like with the hops in this one, like we were talking about wintertime and IPAs, like the herbation of the rosemary, like you were saying. I feel like the rosemary really pairs well with the Mootzy's Treasure, the fresh thyme, and a little bit toasty. It's a little bit savorier, a little bit warming, so it just kind of reminds me. We toasted the garlic, and you kind of the hops in here the same way. The way
That's
IPA
great.
drink.
Yeah.
No, this is very like I'm at the beach, summertime. Like it's not overly heavy, even though it's pasta. You think pasta, it's like heavy. It's not because it's like a light sauce and just like it's thin. It's just easy eating. And
Yeah,
like,
I'm loving how you
so
cut the
good.
garlic. The garlic is not overly garlicky, but I'm still getting good taste. Great Parmesan on top. I
Yep.
can never have enough of that.
There's a little bit of that in the sauce. Would you like some?
I
more of
just
the
got
rosemary?
a chili
Oh, you know
flake.
how we
I just got
love
that
it.
chili flake.
So yeah, there's a little bit of the spice at the
I'm
end.
getting a heart.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's
I
great.
understand how you ate this every day. Oh my god, I love this. I'm like a kid in a candy shop with this pasta.
She was saying that she loves
I
pasta.
love pasta.
Well, good.
I need it faster. Yeah.
But now you know how to make it. Pasta girl, pasta girl, pasta girl.
She
Come
knows
on,
some
two
of the
boxes.
secrets. She doesn't know all the secrets
All
yet.
right.
I will send them to you.
Yes, that sauce is like
Yeah.
everything.
So it's super simple to make too. Like I said, it's roasting tomatoes in the oven. It's chopping a couple fresh herbs. You don't even need vegetable stock, or you can buy vegetable stock from the store. You can use chicken stock if you want. You can use water. So I'm glad you guys came today. Sam, all the way from Baltimore. So nice of you to drive down here. I'm looking forward to following a lot of your stuff on Instagram. What's your Instagram name?
Baltimore food scene.
Baltimore food scene. So definitely, I'll be following you, checking out all the stuff you have to offer in Baltimore. Orion, it's always a pleasure having you out here.
My brother, cheers.
We'll get to have some fun this summer. And Sam, welcome to Delaware.
meet you.
Yeah, you do.
We'll have to have
Thank
some
you so
beers
much.
and stuff. So,
Yeah.
thank you.